Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I want to show you how to get to the cracked folder in Office Sim Find the Folders. So yeah, let's get started. So in order to get this folder, you will actually need quite a few things, as this one is a pretty complicated folder and there are a lot of different steps in order to actually get to the folder. So the first thing you will need is that you will need the shard folder. So if you do not have the shard folder yet, I will leave a tutorial on how to get that one in the description, because you will need that in order to actually get this folder, as without it, you will not be able to get it. Now the next thing you will need is you will need the Helix card as well. So if you do not have the Helix card, I will also leave a tutorial on how to get that one in the description, so you can go ahead and check that one out. So if you do not have the shard folder and Helix card, you need to get those two things first before you can actually move on here, as the future steps will require both of them here. But once you do have both of those items, from the spawn point right over here, you want to exit out these double doors, and then you want to turn left and exit out these double doors of the reception area. Then once you're here, you want to turn right and head down 2 aisles right over here until you do see the Overstock building on the right side. Now once you see the Overstock building right over there, you want to keep going down this aisle, and you'll know that you're going the right way when you do pass the Overstock building to your right. And you want to keep going down this aisle until you do reach a bunker on the left side. So right over here, once you reach the bunker on the left side, it should be right over here before this fallen building on the right. And in order to actually open this bunker right over here, you do actually want to look around these cubicles right over here with your volume on, and you want to listen for a phone ringing noise, and it'll be kind of an eerie noise, so that'll let you know that a phone is ringing. And also the phone that is ringing will be highlighted with a white outline, so that you'll know that you're at the right one. But once you do find it, you want to pick it up, and a string of numbers will actually play. However, the string of numbers will actually be in German. And right over here to the left of the bunker, there should be this little handbook here, and if you open it up, you should be able to see the German translation for the numbers into which number they actually mean right over here. So once you have your string of numbers, you should be able to translate them to the 4-digit code over here on the left. So over there, if you have your numbers, you want to input them here, and the code should be 7867. So if you did input 7867, that should be the right one here. So you want to press confirm, and the light should turn green if that was right. Now the bunker door is opening up here, and you want to head down the elevator, pressing the down arrow to head down to the Helix floor. So right over here, once you're down at the Helix floor, you want to make a right turn and exit out these double doors, and then you want to make a left turn and head down the staircase right over here. So once you head down the staircase, you want to keep going straight forward until you find this cart with pickaxes that fell out, and you want to actually click on the pickaxe to actually get it in your inventory right over there. So once you have the pickaxe, you want to turn left and head over to sector A026. Now once you're in sector A026, you want to head over to the end of this sector, and right over here at the end of the sector, you want to turn right and head over to tunnel 7 right over here. So once you're at tunnel 7, you want to turn left and head over to this little white rock in the corner, and you should notice that there is this little crack on top of it right over here. So once you do find that rock right over there, you want to break it with your pickaxe, and there should be a detonator inside of it. So you want to press E to activate the detonator, and the back of tunnel 7 should blow up, revealing a new path. So you want to head inside this newly blown up path right over here, and then you want to make a left turn and head behind this perpetuity pipe right over here. And behind the pipe should be a truss right over here that you can actually climb to reach a new area. So right over here, once you do climb the truss, you want to turn left and head over to this little conveyor belt right over here. And you want to head over to the end of the conveyor belt path. Now right over here, once you're at the end of the conveyor belt path, you want to turn right and head over to this locked door right over here. And this is where the Helix card will come in handy, as you will not be able to get into this door without the card. So if you do have the card, you want to go to the backpack on the right side and head over to the sword on the left, and you want to pick up the card right over here. So once you equip the card right over there, you can swipe the card right over here to open up this locked door. So once you have this locked door unlocked now, you want to head over to the right side over here and find this panel. And on the left side, there should be this little switch right over here that says supply backup power. So once you do find this supply backup power right over here, you do want to press that switch, and the power should turn on right over here. So once you have that power activated, now you want to exit this locked door right over here, and then you want to make a left turn right over here and head back down the conveyor area right over here. So once you make it down to the end of the conveyors right over here, you want to turn right, and then you want to head down this pipe that you were just at before, and then you would head back outside over here to where tunnel 7 was and the path that you blew up. So over here, once you're at tunnel 7, now you want to exit tunnel 7 and then make a left turn and exit sector A026 as well. So once you exit this sector, you want to make a right turn right over here and head in between these two staircases right over here into this new room. Now once you're in this room right over here, you want to head down this staircase on the right side, where you should be able to find this light right over here at the end of it. Now once you're over here with this light at the end of the staircase, you want to enter this little hallway and skip the first left turn, but head inside this second left turn. Now once you're inside this left turn right over here, you should be able to find this room with a pipe obby. So over here, the entrance to this obby is on the right side over here. You want to circle around to this big pipe and find these smaller pipes on the side. And and you want to use the ones on the right to climb up over to this area. Then once you're here, you want to use the smaller pipes here to climb up to this area right over here, and you want to be careful because of the pipes here that shoot out this air, as if you jump into them, they will actually push you off. So you want to be careful to jump when they are closed, so they do not actually push you off right over there. But once you're on this big pipe right over here, you once again want to circle around this pipe using the smaller ones here, and then once again you want to wait for these to actually be closed, so you do not actually get knocked off by the air. So over here, when the air does go away, you can jump up to this pipe and wait until these go away so that you can actually make your way across this pipe right over here. And then once again, you want to circle around this big pipe here using these smaller pipes to get across. And then from here, you will actually need to use these air vents right over here to jump across, as you will need to use that cap when it's open right over there. So over here, you want to wait until the air comes out again, and then you can jump on this cap right over here and make it across. And the same thing for the next one over here as well. And then once you're here, you want to wait for this air to go away so that you can actually drop down to that bigger pipe right over here, so the air does not push you off right over here. But once the air does go away, you can drop down to this big pipe right over here, and then once again you want to wait right over here for the air to go away so you can cross these as well. So once you just cross these pipes, you want to make your way around this bigger pipe in the corner of this map, and then once again hop over to the smaller pipes attached to the wall right over here. And then right over here you want to make your way across a smaller pipe hugging the wall to make your way around this bigger pipe here. And then once you're here at this section where a lot of these pipes connect, you want to go straight forward and jump over to this big pipe, and then make your way to the end of it right over here where there is this reddish section. Now at this reddish section right over here, you want to jump over to this smaller pipe and then over to this larger pipe right over here. And then from here, you want to use this big pipe that shoots out air to actually jump up over to where that area is right in front of you. So once this pipe opens up, you can actually float over to this new area right over here with this pipe, and you should be able to find this stable ground right over here at the end. So you want to make a left turn and head over to the end of this platform. And at the end of the platform right over here on the right side should be the little opening to the control room. So once you do find the opening to the control room right over here, you will actually need to input a specific code. And the code is actually given through a little puzzle right over here. You'll see that there are actually a bunch of sectors right over here, and each sector has a little number above it given by these little buttons here. So for example, this sector would be number 7 right over here as indicated. And the way to actually find this code is by going numerically from lowest to highest in the sector numbers here. So the lowest would be sector 23, which would mean the number above this one would be the first digit. Then sector 29 would be the next lowest, so the one that would appear above sector 29 would be the second digit right over here. And that'll keep going all the way until the highest sector, which is sector 96 right over there. So putting all the numbers above these sectors numerically from lowest to highest should give you that code. So once you do have the code right over there, the code should be 90074648306 and 8. So once you do have this long code here, 90074648306 that should be the right code here to open up this control room. So once you do have that code in, you're going to press the green button and the door should open up to the control room. So once you're here, you want to head over to this center panel right over here, and you will see this manual pump override button here, and you want to actually turn this on. So you're going to press this little switch right over here, and it should turn the override on right over there, and the button should be green, letting you know that you pressed it correctly. So once this pump override is on, you want to exit out of this control room and then exit out of this pipe room area right over here as well. So you want to turn right and exit out to this hallway you were at, and then head back over to the staircase right over here outside of the hallway. So once you're here, you want to head back up the staircase in this big room right over here, and then once you're at the top right over here, you want to exit out of the room and you want to retrace your steps back to the area where we inputted the Helix card. So you want to turn left and head over to the sector once again, and then head over to the back of the sector where tunnel 7 is located on the right side. And then once again, you want to head over to the tunnel in tunnel 7 right over here, and then you want to make a left turn and head over to the truss that is behind the perpetuity pipe that you were at right over here. So once again, you want to climb up the truss all the way to the top and then make your way down this hallway using the conveyor belts right over here. So right over here, once you make it to the end of the conveyor belt, you want to make a left turn right over here and head over to this turbine 1 section. And here, this is going to be a pretty complicated little mini game that you will need to do. So I'll try to explain it as best as I can so that you guys are able to successfully complete this. This is a pretty tough mini game. It will definitely take you a couple of tries to get the hang of it, but it is a necessary step to actually get this folder. So right over here, once you do activate this white line will actually start over here in this green section, and you want to keep it in that green section the whole time. So it'll either go up or down, but you want to make sure that the line stays in the middle, because once it gets to red, you'll have to restart this minigame over. Now the way to actually keep this line here is that there will be a couple of different things that will start to appear here. The first thing that will start to appear are these red buttons. So right over here, you can see that there are quite a few different white buttons all over this panel, and some of them will turn red, and you'll have to keep clicking them to turn them back to white. So if you see a red button appear, you immediately try to click that one to make it go back to the normal white color here. Now the next thing you will need to do is these two horizontally longer buttons right over here under the pipe pressure symbols. You will need to constantly click those, as you will also need to keep them in the green section here. So these you can always just alternate over here clicking them if there's no red buttons, as you will always need to click them. Now this white line will still move up and down despite you clicking all these buttons here. So occasionally if it goes either too high or too low, just click this switch right over here and it'll make it go the opposite direction. So there's a lot of things you'll need to be doing here, but I'll try to show you the best way I can here so that you're able to do this successfully. And you'll need to be pretty quick. This is a very timely kind of minigame, so you'll need to be very quick with your fingers in order to actually click all the buttons and make sure that you do not actually mess up here. And you need to maintain this for probably about a minute so that you're actually able to successfully complete the minigame here. So right over here, once I press E to activate, you can see the white bar starts to rise and head over inside the green area right over here. So right over here, once again, you want to start clicking these right away, these horizontal ones right where the pipe pressure is, and then you can see these red buttons start to appear, but once you do click them, they do go away. And then right over here, you want to alternate between the red buttons as well as these horizontal ones. And you'll know that you need to press the switch when the lights in the room start to turn red. So once those lights in the room do turn red right over there, that should be a good sign that you should press that button to switch over to the next section. So it's just a mix of pressing these red buttons as well as these horizontal ones right over here, as well as the switch when it gets too high so that you can actually make your way to the end and maintain it for a good amount of time. Because the more red buttons here, as well as the slower you press these horizontal ones, the faster that it will deplete or go higher. So you need to be very quick to keep the bar at a steady level. And also this number right over here will let you know if you're on the right track, because the closer to 0 it is the closer this goes at a pretty steady pace right over here. Right over here, once you're able to maintain it for the right amount of time, it should get to 0 right over there, letting you know that you did it right. And you have reached the end of this minigame right over there. So once you've completed this minigame, you can actually just reset and head back to the spawn. So once you're back at the spawn right over here, you want to head over outside these double doors and head over to the top left corner where there is the manager's office. Now once you're here at the manager's office, you want to input the code 616 to actually enter this office area. And you want to grab this access card on the desk right over here. So once you have the access card right over here, you want to exit out of the manager's office and head outside the double doors on the left side over here to go back to the spawn room. Now once you're back at this spawn room right over here, you want to input the access card on the right side over here where it says swipe, and that button should have turned green as it was previously red. And then you want to do the code right over here on the left side to actually open up this elevator as well. So you want to input the code up, up, down, down, left, right, and this button should turn green as well. And you want to enter the elevator. And you want to head over to the perpetuity floor, which is floor 243. So right over here, you want to input 2, 4, and 3, and it should take you to the perpetuity floor. So right over here, once you're at the perpetuity floor, you want to keep going down until you reach this perpetuity wing building right over here. And then once you're at the building right over here, you want to keep going straight forward until you do find this little desk in the center. And then once you're at the desk right over here, you want to head over to the right side where there is the custodian's office right over here. So right over here, once you're at the custodian's office, you'll see that there is this keypad on the left side over here. And you will actually need to input a code. And you can see when you click on these, the first one is 1, second one is 2, third one is 3, and this fourth one is 4. So you want to remember this pattern as well as this shape so we can actually get the code. So right over here to get the code, you want to exit out of the perpetuity wing building, and then right over here on the outer walls of the building, you'll see this kind of line pattern right over here. And if you remember what we just saw at the keypad, this does kind of resemble that keypad shape. This top rectangle would be where the numbers would appear when you click on the buttons, and these squares do resemble the 4 squares that we did see for the keypad number. So just imagine the lines are here, and it does resemble the keypad. Now the code here is actually the numbers that would be here that are here enclosed in these full squares. So imagine this full keypad is here. The square here would be 1, the square here would be 2, the square here would be 3, and the square here would be 4. So the ones that have the full lines around them are the only ones we count. So right over here would be 2, and right over here would be 3. And you want to do this for these 3 here, and you want to go from left to right. So right over here, the first one here is 3, then 2, then the third one here is 3, and then 2 again, and then right over here is 1 and 4. So the code is 323214. So once you get that code right over here from the wall, you want to exit this area and head back inside the perpetuity wing building where the custodian's office is located. So right over here, once you're back at the coded door, you want to input the code 323214. So once you input 323214 and press the green button, the custodian's office should open up. Now once you're here, you will need to do two things. The first thing you want to do is look over here to this little shelf, and if you angle yourself correctly, you'll be able to see a little number code right over here. And you can see that the code is 4531, and this 3 is backwards, but this is supposed to be a 3 here. So 4531 is this code here, and you want to remember this for a later step. Now the next thing you want to do is find a specific book on the bookshelf. So you want to look to the left side right over here with the Office Sim logo, and you want to head over to the right of it in this column right over here. And at the top of this column, you should be able to find this book that is a bit separate from the rest of them with some spaces in between it. And if you put your mouse above it, you can see that you can actually click on it. So you want to click on this book right over here, and the bookcase to the left of the Office Sim logo should go down. So once the bookcase does go down, you should be able to enter this room. Now once you're in this room, if you look in the top right corner right over here, there should be this little crowbar. And if you look at these books right over here to the left of the crowbar, you'll actually see some very interesting text here that will help you out. So the first one here is Topple the Spheroid, and the second one here is 50 Times, a book about doing something 50 times. So putting these two clues together is you want to topple the sphere statue outside of the Perpetuity Wing building, and in order to do that, you actually have to click it 50 times. So over here, you want to exit out of this new room, back into the secret hallway, and then exit out of the custodian's office. And you want to make your way back outside the Perpetuity Wing building. So over here, once you're outside, you want to turn right and head over to that sphere statue that we did see right over here in front of the code. And you want to actually click on this 50 times. As once you click on it 50 times, you'll actually be able to move it around. So right over here, I clicked on it 50 times, and you can see it did fall off its little pedestal. So once it does fall off, you want to push it inside the Perpetuity Wing building. So right over here, once you get it to the entrance, you want to push it inside, and you want to bring it over to the center right over here, right in front of this desk, into this little square with the logo in front of it. So once you bring it over to the center right over here, you should be able to see this elevator go down with a little panel appear on the right side. So you want to drop down over to this elevator with the sphere that was on it. So right over here, once you do reach the bottom of this elevator, you should be in this room right over here. Now there are quite a few different things here that you want to pay attention to. The first thing here is the component installed. This will not have it here if you do not touch the crystal where the shard folder is located. So if you did not get the shard folder and didn't touch that crystal in that room, this would not be here. So that's why the shard folder is necessary, as without having that crystal in that room, you would not be able to have this component installed here. And then right over here on the left side, you'll see this power sufficient, and this would not be activated if you didn't do that water supply minigame. So if you didn't have that done, this would not be activated here. Now the last thing here that you need to activate is this button code. And once again, you want to remember that code that we did see a bit earlier in the custodian's office. So you want to actually input that code that was there. So you want to input 4, 5, 3, and 1, and that button should turn green. So once all three components here are completed, the crystal, the water supply, and the button code, you should be able to press the switch and activate it right over there. And once you do activate it right over there, the dome with the crystal right over there should explode, and if you did it correctly, the cracked folder should be there in its place after the explosion. So once you do find the cracked folder here, you should be able to touch it, and it should give you the cracked folder in your inventory. So that was a lot of steps. There's a lot of different parts to this one. It was a pretty complicated one, but after you got all the parts and components, you should be able to get this folder correctly. And right over here in this portal is a teleport to the little event that the game was participating in, so you can go check that out if you do want to as well. But yeah, hopefully this video was helpful to you guys, and you're able to get to the cracked folder in Office Sim, find the folders, and yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.